Hey guys, it's Danielle from Our Roaming Hearts, and today we're going to talk about 23 free things to do in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Now, I love the East Tennessee area, the Smoky Mountains. That is an area I hope to be able to settle down and put down roots, hopefully soon. Maybe I've done so by the time you're listening to this video. I have visited East Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area since I was a little kid. We used to vacation up there as a family, both in the summer and in the winter around Christmas time. So let's dig into the Pigeon Forge freebies. One of the probably most famous things to do is visit the island of Pigeon Forge. This is a shopping center. It is free to park, and then they have a little trolley that brings you from the parking lot into the island itself. They have a huge water fountain that does a synchronized show to music, and then at night it lights up as well. There's all sorts of shops to do here. They have the old Smoky Moonshine that you can do tastings on. Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville is here. Paula Dean's Family Kitchen is here. I apologize if you're hearing my kids slamming doors. And then they also have some rides, the Sky Wheel, all sorts of shops. They have a 4D theater there. Candy stores with samples, all sorts of fun things there. It's a great way to kind of spend a day and relax. Next is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works. This is the world's largest display of knives, and there's also a little museum there, a knife museum. Patriot Park, known as a place to feed the ducks. There is a path that you can stroll, including flags from every state. You can head down to the old historic mill and Mill Square. This mill was built in 1830, so it's almost 200 years old. You can take a tour and see how it works. They have the Old Mill Restaurant, which is kind of one of the famous ones in the area there. There's some shops, and it's right on the little river there. You can head just outside of Pigeon Forge and take in the Smoky Mountains National Park. The park is free. There's visitor centers, there's camping, hiking, there's scenic drives, animal sightings, photo opportunities, so much more. Inside the park is Cades Cove. This is another freebie. It is on the further side of the park from where Pigeon Forge is. So my recommendation is to head into the park through the Gatlinburg entrance, and then when you see the Sugarlands Visitor Center, that road right in front of it, take a right and follow that all the way down. So you get the beautiful drive of the park, and you can see waterfalls. If you're lucky, you'll see some animals, and that'll take you then into Cades Cove. Be warned, I have a very strong cell phone signal with Verizon, and I didn't even have cell phone service out there, but it is completely worth it. There's animal sightings, and there's a self-guided drive one-way loop through all this. It's called an open-air museum of these buildings that have the history of the area, everything from old churches, old schools, cemeteries, old farms, homes. There's a whole little farm set up with mills and all sorts of things there. So much history, and it's just a beautiful area surrounded by the mountains. Next is you can meet the Dixie Stampede horses. The show itself costs money, but each day in the front of the building they offer where you can meet the horses and talk to some of the trainers. So the time kind of changes a little bit. So check out their website to see if they have it listed in their events. Take a drive through the Tennessee Heritage Arts and Crafts Trail. This is a 8-mile trail along the Smoky Mountains. Then they have all sorts of different artisans posting that do their items. Some of them make like the guys that use the chainsaws to carve things out of tree trunks. A lot of those do that outside, and they're free to watch. Lots of great stuff there to check out. Next is to take the Newfoundland Gap Road Scenic Drive. This is another one that's in another part of the national park, and this is the road that goes from the Gatlinburg entrance to the Cherokee, North Carolina entrance. And you can drive the entire length of the road, you can drive halfway and turn around. It takes you through some of the highest points of the mountains and back down. If you choose to go all the way to the Cherokee side, down there they have another visitor center that has a little farm set up, open air museum down there that is also free to do. And they are very known for having elk down by that visitor center. We've visited several times, and every time we go, we see at least one herd of elk. The last time we were there, there was actually 2 different herds. We got to see one of them bathing in the river right there by the visitor center, and then another one a little further down the road. That road is also well known for having black bear sightings, as well as some other animals in the area. Another freebie is to visit the Gatlinburg Moonshine Distillery. This is where you can take a tour of how the Smoky Mountain Moonshine is made, and sometimes they offer free samples too. You can ride it's called the Gatlinburg Trolley, but it does make stops in Pigeon Forge as well, and it has several stops along the area. The trolley is only in operation during peak season, generally Memorial Day through Labor Day, maybe a little bit later. I want to say south, but it's not technically south of Pigeon Forge. It is technically a little north of Pigeon Forge. Is the home of Bush's Baked Beans, and they have a visitor center there that is completely free. They have a movie with the history of the company, a museum, and they do have a little lunch area there for you if you choose to buy lunch there. And I just lost my place on my list. Sorry about that, guys. So after Bush's Baked Beans, there is window shopping. And I have to list this as a general freebie because there are so many shopping centers in Pigeon Forge, just up the main strip. I mean, you have just so many that you can pull in, kind of walk around. They have a huge Christmas themed store and Christmas themed mall with all things Christmas all year long. There's the island at Pigeon Forge that was mentioned, and the old historical mill, and they're building now another huge shopping area there. These shops just spread all the way up through towards Gatlinburg, and they have a little bit of everything. There's shops that have alligators that you can view in them. There's shops that have amusements and all sorts of different things, and it's just a completely different experience on its own. Make sure you check out the city calendar while you are there. They have all sorts of festivals and events, and if you can make it during Christmas, oh, I highly suggest it. They just do it upright. They light up the streets, and they do all sorts of events and amazing things during Christmas. Other festivals they're known to have a barbecue festival, a bluegrass festival, and partnered with Dollywood Festival of, what's it called now? It used to be Festival of Flags. I think they might have changed the name, where they represent all sorts of different countries and the different states. Next is Clingman's Dome, also located inside the national park. Clingman's Dome is the highest point in the Smoky Mountains. You can drive up and park in the parking lot, and then you have just under a half-a-mile hike from the parking lot up to the dome. That seems easy, right? Half-mile hike. Oh, I did not realize how out of shape I was, because that is a almost straight up hike. The Appalachian Trail crosses right over it. I had to sit down several times. Thankfully, there's benches the entire way up. My kids had to sit down a couple times. It was a lot of work to get to the top. And by the time that you are done and ready for it to just be there, you're only halfway there and you're like, I'm gonna finish it. And we did. And I'm so happy we did. Side note, it was at the start of our hiking journey, so we were not in shape in any way, shape, or form. You know, I had not been training for hiking as a mom of 5 kids. At the time, I had only 4 kids. But it is definitely worth it for the views. Next, we have the Roaring Fork Motor Trail. Also another scenic drive. It's a 6-mile one-way loop that includes the Noah House. That is one of the earlier settlers in the area. And he is the old, sorry. And then you have the oldest cabin in Gatlinburg, located near the Welcome Center. It's an 1807 ogle cabin. Let's see, then we have the Little River Railroad and Lumber Company Museum, and this is all about steam logging in the Smoky Mountains. And if you're there during the fall, you can just take any drive along the mountains and take a look at all the changing leaves. You are able to hike part or all of the Appalachian Trail. Many times near the Gatlinburg entrance to the Smoky Mountains, you'll meet people traveling the Appalachian Trail and you can hear their story. They're always happy to share. As mentioned before, there's the Sugarlands Visitor Center at the Gatlinburg entrance to the Smoky Mountains. This is where the kids can get their Junior Ranger badges.
Can I have everyone's attention? Will you please help me welcoming our newest Junior Rangers? Woo!
There's the Great Smoky Flea Market with just about everything that you could find. There's food and deals, and it's kind of a farmer's market all rolled into one. And as a side note, if you are a family with kids, many areas offer free child admission, so make sure you check those out. If you're in the area, I also shared my free things to do in Gatlinburg and free things to do in Knoxville. I'll leave those in the description below. If you liked this video, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.